okay, but underneath those patterns, let's not talk about the techniques, let's talk about the concepts. What was the major concept for today? Legs connected to feet, and the feet are connected to the floor. So we're building energy through the floor, our feet, our legs, obviously into the rest of our embrace. And what did Christina share with you about the feet? The very first thing we did? Four corners. And we're using the four corners in this movement as much as possible. Both leaders and followers. So we're trying to develop, here's the little cheat step. You'll see this in the demo. We'll do a little dance demo. We're trying to develop a compression more than just the standard embrace that we have. And this cheat step and pattern B help develop that. So in the upper embrace itself, there's going to be a little bit more, if you will, engaging, kind of hugging, squeezing, extra hug, because the follower and the leader will have an extra tilt. Not just your nominal close embrace tilt. As the tilt gets a little more precarious, we're supporting each other a little more by adding more compression from the embrace. But if you have no connection to the floor through your legs, good luck on just hugging extra. It's like you're both falling off a cliff and you're hugging each other, you're still going to fall to the bottom of the cliff. You can hug each other as much as you want, you're going to crash and burn. So if you don't have the floor underneath you and know how to engage with your feet and your legs, through then your embrace as you compress, you don't have the foundation. Word. Word? Okay. That's the main message. Now, what are some of the pet peeves? What's the first one? Touching heads. Yeah, so I love touching heads, but there's a nice way to do it and kind of a painful headache way, crick in the neck way to do it. So try in class, if you don't mind, to let your heads float and imagine that your partner's from Holland and this tall, please. What's another pet peeve? Yeah, no need to go down in close embrace, or actually even in any embrace. You can go down for style or to be more grounded, but right now we're trying not to minimize it, we're trying to stay level. What's another one? Yeah, this especially, you have to control your mind, because if you start drifting somewhere else, this becomes like a sustained volcada type pattern and not what we're trying to do. So we're really trying to put one foot, after the cheat step leaders, one foot in front of the other, the followers one foot behind the other. After you make your first little step, this big one is still right behind the other step.
Followers, how do we know when to put down our left foot when they lead that first back step? That's supposed to be a short step. How do we know? How do we know? How do I know that I'm only supposed to land it here versus here?
When if you move further, you lose the compression.
Yes, and what am I listening from his body if Homer is leading? It's this progression here. It's kind of how he's moving his center. And he's not moving his center a lot. It's really just a little bit of switch from his right leg to his left leg. And leaders, this is how you control that step. It's how you move your torso forward. If you move it too much, it's going to reach. Okay. And then one other thing, followers. Once they start the compression, does it stay the same the whole time? It's a trick question.
No.
No, it builds up, right? Like, for example, when he leaves the first back step, a little bit. And then now he's going to start building it, so I really have to engage my legs into the floor to get into my back, to get into my embrace, to put power in my body pushing against it.
Then can you only do this in close embrace?
No, we can do it in open.
And give it a step or two after the prompt to go back to normal. Don't just go right to the regular embrace right away.
So huggy, a little bit, more, really a lot. Now it's open. We're back to putty.
And Homer, is the reason that you rotate your shoulders so that you can keep your feet in line? Is that related to that?
Part of it is, it's more related to the lead and to softening the edges so we're not kind of like robotically doing this on the outside of her and she feels like she's over here also dancing like a square. So we're being more soft with the edges. In close embrace, it just feels nice. And there's communication there, so it's kind of language as well. It's communicating, this is how I lead across, but with any foot, because I go with my right foot, I still twist with the same mechanics as going with the left first. One step you're homogeneous, one you're contralateral, it's right here.
Okay,
I have a question. People who follow are often really worried about being heavy, being perceived as heavy.
This is,
And this compression is often perceived as, I'm being heavy, I don't want to do that.
if it's
What
vertical,
is being heavy?
if it's
if that's not
vertical,
being
if it's
heavy?
vertical, it's heavy. If it's horizontal, it's not heavy. This sort of compression is straight into you. It's
Even
not.
if it's
no, followers, do you understand what that means?
So watch, here's horizontal. That wasn't so heavy, was it?
No.
The first one was horizontal, and I really pushed against
You did a
Paul.
lot of-
I really
lot of
pushed, and
compression.
he just blew right through me. And I was really pushing. When I went vertical, I just hung, barely hung, and he was taken down to the ground. So it's really amazing how followers, the smallest follower, if she goes down and just hangs like this, will take Paul down.
That's heavy.
Yeah, and the biggest follower, if she pushes horizontally, can push as much as she wants, and Paul's still going to walk right to the cross. Within reason.
Okay,
Here's a little song demo. We will take about a 10-minute break. You can ask questions during the break if you want.
One of those little clamshells and batteries.